far have been well taken. Please, can we put our hands together for Grace? Thank you very much, Grace, for being involved and leading in that conversation. So, as I mentioned, we want to move on to our first panel session today. But before we do that, I'd like to welcome, to sort of declare this session open and to also provide some welcome, being in many ways hosting us in Abuja today for this summit. So we have the Honorable Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu, who is being represented today by Mr. Ibe Prospect Chukwuemeka, the Acting Secretary of the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat at the FCTA. He will be delivering a short welcome address from the Honorable Minister. So please, if you can have Mr. Chukwuemeka join us on the stage now to deliver that short address, and then we'll move on to our panel session. Do we have Mr. Prospect Chukwuemeka here? I was told that he's on his way. Okay, wonderful. So as I mentioned, all the conversations we've had up to this point, and I really appreciate the feedback that we've had the time to really address a very important area, which is youth involvement in agriculture. We hear about the fintech industry, we hear about the entertainment industry. The youth are driving a lot of initiatives in that area. We need the youth to do the same in agriculture, and they can. So as I mentioned, we need to get the youth in the agricultural space. And it's going to require some reorientation, as Grace mentioned. We have to encourage, we have to show them the opportunity, because the youth are driven by that entrepreneurial spirit. So hopefully we can do that, and all the feedback that we have taken in this short conversation will be taken to the authorities, and hopefully it will contribute to us changing the narrative relating to the youth in agriculture. And just to highlight, while we wait for Mr. Chukwuemeka to join us on stage, the next session is going to be a discussion on Nigeria's agricultural policy. It's a very important conversation to have, and leading that conversation is Professor Bola Gade Ayola, who is the Executive Director, Farm and Infrastructure Foundation. So we're delighted to have him with us today for that. And as soon as we are about to transit to that conversation, I will introduce all the other speakers. But it's a very important point. Hopefully we can make it a bit interactive, as we have had this morning with respect to youth involvement in agriculture. But otherwise, it should be very useful for us to engage on the Nigeria agricultural policy. Do I have an update on Mr. Chukwuemeka? Once again, for those who may have arrived a little later today, I made a very important announcement and a reminder of the announcement that was made yesterday concerning taking care of your personal items while you are with us over the course of the summit. Sadly, we had a case of someone's item being stolen yesterday, and we'll hate to see that repeated today. So please do your best to keep all your personal items with you at all times. And if you, peradventure, for any reason have to leave the room, please take them with you or hand them over to somebody that you know.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the hitches and the late commencement that we've had this morning. But we're going to be going straight into the session while we await the arrival of the representative of the Honorable Minister of State for FCT. He is 2 minutes away. So let me introduce the lead discussant for this morning's plenary, which is a special policy plenary. He is Professor Bolagade Ayola. Professor Ayola is here. Professor Ayola, please, you can make your way forward, sir. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Professor Ayola is the Executive Director, Farm and Infrastructure Foundation. He is a professor of agricultural policy. And if there's anyone who is most appropriate to have this role of presenting the lead discussion paper for this activity, it is Professor Ayola. Okay, so the secretary is here. Can I have that so that I can okay, thank you, Wale. Okay, so we have the representative of the Honorable Minister of State for FCT, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu. He is Mr. Ibe Prospect Chukwuemeka. He's the Acting Secretary, Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat for the FCT. Mr. Chukwuemeka, please, you can join us up here. I understand that Mr. Chukwuemeka will be welcoming us to his domain, which is the FCT. But before then, we want to just call on Alhaji Zubairu Abdullahi, the Director of Planning and Policy Coordination of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, to also join this session. Also, Professor Garba Hamidu Sharabutu is here. Professor Sharabutu, please join us up here as well. He is the Executive Secretary of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN. Following Professor Sharabutu is Professor M.T. Yakasai. Professor Yakasai is the Principal Consultant for the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones project of the federal government, anchored by the African Development Bank and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, as well as the Islamic Development Bank. I was just smiling, you know, with Professor Yakasai because, I mean, he knows why. I was smiling when he was coming up. I mean, he's been here, and most of the other panelists actually have been here for quite a while and just holding on for us. We're very grateful. Last but not the least, we have Mr. Oluwaseyi Adepoju, the trade advisor to the British Department for International Trade. He anchors Nigeria's agriculture and mining sectors for the UK DIT. Sheyi, you're welcome. Please also join us. We're supposed to have a moderator in the person of Dr. Paul Ilona, the country manager, Harvest Plus Nigeria. Is Paul here? Paul Ilona. Okay. We will have to improvise in that regard then. Having said this, there is one more person I need to call up. That is Mr. Yahya Husseini, the anchor person from the FCTA on implementation of the SAPZ. Is he here? Okay, he's not. Then we also have the representative of the governor of Kwara State, if I'm not mistaken. Is the Kwara State governor's representative here? Yes, he was here. Okay, I mean, we will bring him up when he arrives. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Ibe Prospect Chukwuemeka, the Acting Secretary, Agriculture and Rural Development of the FCTA, to deliver the speech of the Honorable Minister of State, FCT. Okay, sir. Maybe I should say Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. Distinguished panelists, fellow agropreneurs, farmers, fellow Nigerians, I bring you greetings from the Minister for State, FCT, Dr. Alamatu Tijani Aliu, who was supposed to be here, but due to other pressing official engagements, she has asked me to come here and welcome you. And by so doing, I do hereby present her paper. First, let me express my profound delight on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration that a new national policy framework for agriculture has been crafted with the objective of integrating food security, job creation, and sustainable agriculture into the nation's wider economic policies. It is noteworthy that the policy strengthens the current administration's agricultural transformation trajectory to achieve food security while lifting millions out of poverty through job creation in the food production value chains. May I also add that it supports the FCT administration's keen focus on agricultural industrial revolution as a strong pillar upon which to anchor the evolution of an economically productive capital territory in which millions are guaranteed acceptable living standards. As a flagship agricultural sector convocation, the Feed Nigeria Summit provides a unique platform for stakeholders in the sector to track and support these and other efforts of government at all levels. This 8th edition, with the theme Post-COVID-19, a repaired food system, pathway to a revived economy, aptly focuses on the need to capitalize on the positive energy of Nigerian agricultural sector to strengthen the nation's overall post-COVID economy is timely and commendable. It is indeed fitting that the summit is anchored on the three components of infrastructural development, technological proliferation, and entrenched policy. Three key pillars of sustained economic development. Nigeria, like other countries around the world, is in their need to get back on this track. Sorry about that. This summit therefore presents a unique opportunity for stakeholders to interact and share ideas on how to reposition the agricultural sector towards the desired successes. For us in the FCT administration, our governance mandate requires us to be in a hurry to add value to the lives of the residents as a fast-track means of boosting agricultural productivity and food security while immediately creating thousands of jobs for the teeming and increasing restive youth population. Our commitment in this area is evidenced in our level of preparedness for the establishment of a special agro-industrial processing zone, SAPZ, in livestock production, processing and marketing, funded by the federal government of Nigeria through the African Development Bank and other partners such as International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and Islamic Development Bank, ISDB. The FCT SAPS will provide the avenue for harnessing the territory's vast agricultural resources to trigger massive grassroots development, prevent farmer pastoralist resource sharing conflicts, and make the FCT a new livestock production hub in the West African sub-region. In the FCT SAPZ, we plan to integrate crucial aspects of livestock production, processing, and marketing as practiced in advanced countries. To actualize this, We are working with local and multinational companies and investors in the sector, including Firstland Wamco PLC, Nestle PLC, L&Z Integrated Farms, HSP Global, and indeed a number of other consortia led by American and Brazilian farmers to establish ranches and processing facilities. Other investors are built to bring in global logistics expertise to create an all-inclusive hub of industrial progress. I am delighted to inform this esteemed gathering that in April 2021, the FCT administration hosted robust stakeholder engagements with an AFDB IFAD SAPZ appraisal mission to the FCT. The team visited some of the project sites located in Gwagwalada and Abuja municipal area councils of the territory and had discussions with crop farming, pastoralists, communities, community leaders, and other stakeholders. It is our firm conviction that the SAPZ will not only serve as a game changer in project development, but become one of the key strategies to deliver on the Mr. President's plan to create jobs for the youth and to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. In addition, the SAPZ will provide and improve modernized livestock productivity for national food production, food nutrition security by making available quality and price competitive beef and dairy products for local and export markets. This administration's drive is hinged on the awareness of government's role to provide for the welfare and well-being of residents in the territory, and shall continue to seek partnership that will help to drive these needs. As stated earlier, at the core of our agricultural policies in the FCT administration is the implementation of grassroots developmental programs that are targeted at harnessing the vast arable land mass. The FCT master plan earmarked about 234,000 hectares of land for agricultural development, 270,000 hectares as forest reserves, and another 60,000 hectares as land cover, classified as rivers and hills. We have therefore built our programs for the agricultural sector in the FCT around 6 critical areas of need. These include: 1, input support. Here we support smallholder farmers through 50% subsidized input support initiative that grants access to critical agricultural inputs such as fertilizer, agrochemicals, pesticides, feeds, and irrigation equipment to support all year round farming. 2, public-private partnership. Here we create an enabling environment for the participation of the private sector in adding value to the delivery of agricultural development activities. Our collaboration with some development partners such as Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, the Leventis Foundation, among others, have shown tremendous game-changing potentials. We have, like other states, keyed into the various federal government agricultural programs such as National Livestock Transformation Plan, NLTP, the Central Bank of Nigeria Anchor Borrowers Program, ABP, Accelerated Agricultural Development Scheme, AADS, all geared towards enhancing effective utilization of our land and water endowments. 3, women and youth empowerment. Under this, we provide support for women in small-scale farming activities. The establishment of the FCT Aquaculture and Allied Trade Center in Kwale has helped to pull tens of women and youth out of poverty by giving them a new means of livelihood. We have also empowered other groups in crop, poultry, and livestock farming. 4, infrastructural development. As a result of which we recognize and address infrastructural deficits to required standards. Towards this end, we have opened our doors for the involvement of competent investors to implement our efforts in realizing this objective. Capacity building. Here we seek to enhance the effort and the performance levels of the various sectors and actors in the production, processing, and distribution activities within our agricultural value chains. May I, at this point, thank our ever hardworking and dedicated agri-extension officers who, even during the lockdown in the wake of the first wave of this pandemic, worked tirelessly to step down the knowledge to farmers to ensure some semblance of normalcy on our crop fields. Promoting peaceful coexistence. Here we recognize that our quest to attain food security is being hampered in parts by farmer-pastoralist conflicts around the utilization of land and water resources. Our SAPC development agenda has achieved great traction only because our resolve to build stakeholder consensus around the importance of peace. I commend area council authorities, community leaders, as well as security agencies for their active participation in this process. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that Nigeria's agricultural sector has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and there is no better time to act than now. In reversing this situation, as key stakeholders, therefore, we must make efforts to change the narrative of agriculture being just for the sake of consumption to that of commercial and profitable venture. Issues of poor infrastructure, paucity of funds, availability of adaptive and environmental friendly agro-technologies, functional research and development, capacity enhancement, and access to markets, among others, should form part of the discourse. Members of Feed Nigeria Summit will have a daunting task ahead of us of feeding growing number of poor people with a lean public purse in the context of climate change and pandemic impacts, and in an interdependent global economy hamstrung by challenging trade policies. I am convinced, however, that gathered for this summit are entities and individuals capable of coming up with deals, agreements, conclusions, and recommendations that will help in repositioning the agricultural sector for the good of the FCT populace and the country at large. I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, can we put our hands together properly for him? Thank you so much.
And on this note, I do have declared the technical session open. FCT will be represented by the technocrats in the House, Mr. Yahya Hussein, Director of PRS. Please come and take your seat. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you again, sir, for your welcome message. And before we move on, I want to quickly appeal to the cameramen. Please, we're going to need you to relocate these cameras because some of the people sitting at the front will also participate in the session that we are going to right now. So. We are happy to have our moderator join us now. He's none other than Dr. Paul. What is wrong? Dr. Paul Ilona, who's the country manager, Harvest Plus Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And on that note, I'd like to hand over to you to moderate this session. As I mentioned, we do have some people who are sitting down here who would also like to participate. And I do believe that we are opening up with a presentation by Professor Ayola. Is that correct? All right. So please, Professor Ayola, it's over to you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I start by acknowledging the pleasure of the minister to invite me to this occasion with thanks. And I acknowledge the presence of the devil is definitely at work. And whether he likes it or not, we are going to hear this particular lecture. Oh my God.